peace proposal, presented during talks in Istanbul, Russia has outlined a comprehensive plan aimed at ending the ongoing conflict with Ukraine. The document, seen by multiple sources, sets forth stringent conditions that Kyiv must meet to achieve a ceasefire and move toward a final settlement. The memorandum is divided into three main sections: conditions for a comprehensive resolution of the conflict, steps toward a ceasefire, and a detailed peace roadmap that includes unilateral actions by Russia.
First, we have handed over our memorandum to the Turkish side, which consists of two parts. First, how to achieve a real long-term peace. And the second part is what steps should be taken to make a full-fledged ceasefire possible. Moreover, in the second part, there is even a variety of options to enter this path or this path. The memorandum is quite detailed and worked through properly from our side. Therefore, the Ukrainian side decided to take it for study. If they study it, they will react to it, and we will see.
Central to the plan is Russia's demand for Ukraine to withdraw its military forces from territories that have recently joined Russia, including the two Donbas republics, Kherson and Zaporozhye regions, areas Moscow annexed following referendums held in late 2022. Crimea, which Russia annexed in 2014, is also recognized in the memorandum as Russian territory. In addition to the territorial withdrawal, Ukraine would be required to reaffirm its status as a neutral and non-nuclear state. This includes a prohibition on hosting military activities by third-party nations and withdrawing from international agreements incompatible with neutrality. The proposal also calls for limits on the size and equipment of Ukraine's armed forces, though no specific figures are provided. The memorandum further demands the disbandment of nationalist armed groups within Ukraine's military and National Guard, and guarantees protections for Russian and Russian-speaking communities in Ukraine. It also calls for Russian to be recognized as an official language, an end to the persecution of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and a ban on Nazi propaganda and nationalist groups. Additionally, Kyiv would need to lift sanctions imposed on Moscow, with both sides agreeing to renounce claims for damages resulting from the conflict. Two ceasefire pathways are presented. One option requires Ukraine to begin withdrawing troops from annexed regions and pull back forces from Russian borders within 30 days.
And finally, the last proposal that came from our side, since the Ukrainian side often talks about the necessity of a ceasefire all the time, quite in general terms. We have proposed a concrete and genuine ceasefire for 2 or 3 days in certain areas of the front. This will now be worked out by our military experts with the Ukrainian ones.
The alternative package option demands an immediate halt to troop movements other than withdrawals, cessation of Ukrainian mobilization, and a stop to Western military aid, including arms shipments and intelligence sharing. Both sides would establish a bilateral monitoring center and release detained citizens. Ukraine would also be expected to lift martial law and schedule presidential and parliamentary elections. The final peace treaty would be signed post-elections and would require ratification by a legally binding UN Security Council resolution. Last week, Reuters reported on Ukraine's counter-proposal, which reportedly rejected Russia's demands to recognize the annexed territories as Russian and maintained Ukraine's aspirations to join NATO. Kyiv's proposal also included demands for reparations from Moscow